Alright, this is going to be a really quick update on the current state of the channel, like as far as moving forward for the new year, and the current state of the Doom 2 level, which has a couple of issues that I need to bring up because I am requesting some kind of advice on how to best handle these two problems. Uh, First of all, my focus right now has been very much on the Doom 2 level. You're looking at a version of the level that is a lot further along than the most recent videos of me actually working on the level. That is because there is a bit of a backlog of videos as the person doing the editing just recently fractured her elbow. So that's kind of slowed things down quite a bit as far as like when the new videos can start rolling in. But also too, just New Year's Eve vacation. It's been distracting as hell. It's been quite a thing. I think we'll be able to start catching up on things again uh, very soon. So yeah, this level has come a long way and it's nearly done. So, or at least it's nearing a point right now where you can play from the very beginning all the way to the very end. It's a pretty full experience. There's quite a bit going on. It's a very long level. There's a lot of interesting areas. So now that the level is at a point right now that it's this far along, I'm having to actually think about how I intend to release the level. Now, it turns out that releasing something is probably for me, maybe for me, I'm the only person with this issue, but releasing something is probably almost as hard as actually making it in the first place. Uh, in my case, I'm gonna have to explain the two issues that I mentioned earlier. So the first issue is that I intend fully to support GZ Doom and Brutal Doom 20B. So GZ Doom 2.3.0. These are the latest versions of these things. That raises a problem right away because that's a lot of stuff to download. I would really like to be able to have a platform to be able to release really badass content without having to demand that the people who play the level have to know so much about it and download all the different things. I'm thinking a lot of this can be combated with simply having all the downloads listed in the same spot, and you can download the levels that I made, and now you're gonna have to download Brutal Doom, and just direct link to the download and a direct link to the latest version of GZ Doom and all of that, and then you have to figure out how to run it with the WAD files. I guess it's a mess. So the first issue that really bugs me, and I'm gonna probably have to have some advice on this. Uh, Brutal Doom has a typo. The latest version of Brutal Doom has a typo. Literally in one text file, there is one character in that text file that causes the latest version of GZ Doom to completely bomb out. That's it. Just bombs out. It won't run. So if you try to run the latest version of Brutal Doom with GZ Doom, you yeah, it won't work. That's a problem. So I hopefully maybe can contact the person who is in charge of Brutal Doom and maybe ask kindly if he can fix that one typo in the official build, because I can't just fix the problem and then release everything at once in one download. that would make me a giant, massive asshole because I would be basically stealing other people's work. It would be so much easier if I could just like package everything up that you need and that's it. But as it stands right now, you have to get these things from their sites, and I don't have control over what he has for download. And the version that he has up on his uh, download area has that typo already in it. Hopefully this can be addressed in some way. Or I've considered the idea of just simply not having Brutal Doom be a part of the level anymore, like go back to what I was doing originally and having it just sort of be just exclusive to GZ Doom. Uh, my only issue with that is that the Brutal Doom is really interesting to me. I feel like it's a more interesting thing because I've already done classic Doom to death, and Brutal Doom feels modernized or more interesting in some because it's newer. It's different. It's a different take, which is also indicative of the level itself. This level flows like a modern style level, even though it has all of the bells and whistles of a classic Doom level. This level kind of is a series of small levels that are stitched together and then intertwine with each other. So the flow is like this area right here is its own map. This area right here is its own map. This area right here is its own map. They're like tiny maps, but they're all strung together, which I would describe as being sort of the Half-Life style of design. When you play the level, you'll know what I mean. Or if you see me play it, I'll have a download for you to be able to actually how to download a video for you to actually see the level from start to finish. And you'll notice that like this entire area right here is just one section. And then you still have the ability to go back through and backtrack and you have all of that stuff like a classic Doom level, but when you're pushing forward, it's a series of smaller chunks. Like this area here is actually a no combat area. It's just a puzzle where you have to figure this puzzle out, and then that causes other things to happen elsewhere in the map. Uh, then I'm not going to ruin it at the moment. You can watch the episodes where I'm actually working on it, and I'll spoil everything in those. I mean, one example of the fact that I've done Classic Doom to death is uh, No Rest for the Living was designed to be as much like a classic Doom 1 style um, episode. In fact, that's how I wanted it to be. That's why I chose us to push forward with just having 9 levels rather than trying to do 30 because that was ridiculous anyway. I never liked that. But I wanted it to feel like Doom 1 meets Doom 2. So the quality of the levels in Doom 1 meets the double barrel shotgun and all of the new monsters in Doom 2. So I really have done classic Doom to death. Alright, I'm also restating this point more than once. So I definitely would really prefer to just have this actually fully support and be built around Brutal Doom. Uh, but I guess that's the problem. I'm at an impasse at the moment in this situation, and I'm not really sure how I can get around this problem. Now, I've been told that the author of Brutal Doom does not intend to fix this typo. It's literally one text file. Not sure. Not sure what I can do. Uh, there must be some kind of trick. Maybe I can just take that one text file and release that. in the correct directory, and maybe it would, since it's not in the pack file, it would like take priority or something like that. I don't know. Something weird like that would probably work just fine. Alright, the other problem, it was a lot of time just for that one problem. The other problem is that the GZ Doom itself does not feel like a cohesive package. Like, I noticed the same problem with Brutal Doom 64. There are way too many fucking options in the options menu. And there's just so many things that just don't even, I don't even give a fuck about a lot of these options. Like, I don't think most people are going to. So, I don't know what to do about this. Like, so just let it slide. How am I supposed to communicate to the player that this level you're allowed to jump? I want you to be able to jump and crouch. I want you to be able to do all these things. I want you to be able to have an overlay mini map while you're exploring the map and 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 all of that. How are people how can I best make this so that people who don't understand how to download and get all this junk to work can play the level with as little trouble as possible? And that's my main concern with just GZ Doom alone. So I realize that there are a lot of people who, if they're running these kinds of levels, then chances are they know about all this stuff anyway. But I mean, to me, it feels weird to it feels really weird to just let people just let the chips fall where they may, like whatever. It's like have somebody complain that they didn't even know they can crouch because the key wasn't even bound. The default version of GZ Doom, WASD, is not even a default. Like that's a default for games that have come out for the last 20 years. But in GZ Doom, arrow keys are the default. Mouse look isn't on by default. Like what am I supposed to do about this? Oh well. Yeah. Well, anyway, with that said, I'm gonna have to end this now. Anyone have any advice on these two issues so that I can release this level? It's possible that maybe there's a couple of things that I can do that would solve these two issues, or maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe I should just release the level as is and let people do whatever they want with it. Um, Good luck, kind of a situation. So, all right. Hope you enjoyed this, or at least hear my plea, and I hope my points were clear. And I guess that's that. What you have any advice?